Have you ever wondered how you can impact the world? Yes, you can impact the world one heart at a time. Would you give me the next few minutes of your time right now to impact a hurting child? Stay tuned right now. When I started the ministry that's responsible for Second Chance Youth Ranch, January 1st, 1988, I put on my daytimer on every page of my monthly daytimer, no retreat, no remorse, no regrets. I don't believe in looking backwards. I only believe in looking up and looking forward. I'm Perry Black, pastor of Family Church, founder of Second Chance Youth Ranch. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have a guest, Jawanza Whitfield. Jawanza, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you. You're a Little Rock guy? Did you grow up in Little Rock?
Yes, sir. Born and raised in Little Rock. Graduated at Hall High School.
Hall High School. Boo. Boo Hall High. Just teasing. I'm a Little Rock Central guy.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Thanksgiving Day, we did after the ball game the turkey trot. That was a dance.
Yep.
And that was our final game of every year on, quote, Turkey Day, 10 o'clock, typically at Quigley Stadium, and we played Hall High.
For the Bell.
Huh?
We played for the Bell.
Oh, you played for the Bell?
Hall
the
versus
Bell.
Central. We had a big old bell.
Yeah.
That we got
Sometimes
to
the
win.
Tigers would go over there and mess with your bell.
Yep.
Got that in the news a few times.
Yeah.
Well, you know, our athletes at, I see your shirt, Arkansas Christian Academy, our athletes were not fond of one another, Hall High and Little Rock Central High School.
That's right. My
senior year, 1970, Hall High had the #1 offense in the state. And all of our Christian athletes at ACA know that Little Rock Central, with Walter Coleman and I, playing on the defense, along with Gernard Medley and Frank, our other friends, we were the #1 defense in the state. And I just share that just perchance that some of our athletes at ACA are watching this show because it's an inside joke.
Yes, sir.
So Hall High School, where'd you grow up in Little Rock?
Central Little Rock, not too far from the War Memorial Stadium.
Okay.
The park. We walk up to the zoo from my house, a couple
Fair
miles.
Park?
Fair Park.
Tyler?
Down near Washington. So further on
Okay.
down, 12th in Washington. I was 16th in Washington.
I worked at Safeway at 12th and Battery.
Yes, sir.
And 12th and Lewis. So you know where that is.
Exactly where I walked to that Safeway store more than once.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, sir.
I ended my Safeway career in August of 1983 when I went on staff at Agape Church, and I ended it at Safeway at 12th and Lewis. In high school, I started it at 12th and Battery.
Wow.
So that's my old stomping grounds.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great area down there.
Okay.
It's a great area.
My sister's still there, actually.
Yeah.
Back in the home.
Well, down in that area, of course, in that general area, you've got Central High School. You have the old Emmanuel Baptist Church. Of course, you have the Children's Hospital.
Yep.
I mean, it's really an area. And I was down at the Children's Hospital just a few weeks ago in that general area and drove by my old junior high west side. And I saw they had turned that into either apartments or condos. So that's pretty cool. At one point, I thought they had condemned that area, but I guess not. But so you're a Little Rock guy. You went to Hall High School. But you lived where you did. Did they bus you then to Hall High School?
Yes, sir. So.
And did you graduate?
I did.
When did you graduate?
1990.
Well, I'm joking with you, but you actually have a master's degree or two.
One master's degree in counseling.
In counseling. So tell us your journey. Let's first, the reason I'm having you on the show, because you guys are very involved in Arkansas Christian Academy, but more so, if you will, in adoption.
Yes, sir.
Through young people
Chance.
that you met at Second Chance Youth Ranch, you and your wife.
Yes, sir.
So before we get too far into the adoption, you grew up in Little Rock. Your wife, though, Martha.
It's from Chocowinity, North Carolina.
Well, I can't even say that. I'm spirit-filled and can't even say that. Say that again?
Chocowinity.
Chocowinity. I'll get filled with the Holy Ghost right here on set.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But she has a PhD.
Yes, sir. In education administration.
And she actually currently is employed where?
At the Rite of Passage. It's, she's employed by Rite of Passage at the Arkansas juvenile assessment and treatment center.
Very involved in that.
Yes, sir.
And if I remember, you're the chaplain there. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So you guys been married how long?
13 years, just past December.
And we're going to kind of interrogate you here as to where you met. How did you meet her? Where was she?
She was from Chakawinity,
Okay.
but we met in Matoaka, Virginia.
Okay. Now you're actually you're just messing with me.
No, Matoaka. Matoaka is actually Pocahontas's name.
Oh, there you go.
So we were the Matoaka Warriors, which I thought was amazing because I was
cool.
a Hall High warrior.
When I first went to New England, I was expecting, because I'm a country boy, I was expecting New England, that whole area, to be big city. And to my surprise, very rural.
Yes.
A lot of Quaker style, Shaker style dwellings and homes. Beautiful country. But now the words of those towns are Indian names.
Mostly, yes, sir.
And when you said something about
Matoaka?
Warriors,
Yes, sir.
who is that? Is that a high school or something?
That is high school.
Yeah.
So Matoaka is the area, it's the community, it's part of Chesterfield County, Virginia, just outside of Richmond.
And is that where you met Martha?
And that's where I met Martha at Matoaka High School. We
Well-
got hired the same year.
Oh, you were
She was the theater
teaching.
teacher and I was the school counselor.
Oh, I love this show because I learn more than our viewers. So you were a teacher in what state?
In Virginia.
And she was theater, but now you do drama here at ACA.
Yes, because she was the theater behind the theater teacher. So
That's amazing.
I taught because she wasn't teaching, she helped me teach.
All right, we're going to take a break here in just a moment, but before we do, we just want to get people on the edge of their seats because I know these interviews are designed just to be conversations to let our viewers learn about Second Chance Youth Ranch, how to foster, how to adopt. So before we go, you're married, you have how many children, birth children?
So there are three children that are my biological children.
And y'all have some extra family now.
Yes.
Tell
we
us
do.
about that.
We have two teenagers.
And don't you have a grandchild?
And I have a grandbaby, yes, sir.
Hello, I am Terry Tripp, and this is Empower Minute. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Some people hug the tree stump. Get out on a limb. That is where the fruit grows. I believe God is more pleased when we try something and fail than never try at all because of fear. If you have a dream, a passion, a vision, get out of shallow waters and launch out into the deep. After all, if you shoot for the moon and miss, at least you'll be hanging out with the stars. I want to encourage you to support this network financially. Their dream is to reach this world with the gospel. That is worth supporting.
Have you ever considered a Christian education for your child? Then you should check out Arkansas Christian Academy, Saline County's fully accredited premier Christian school at an affordable family rate. Students have opportunities to excel in academics, athletics, fine arts, and technology. And through our dual enrollment program, high school students can even achieve an associate's degree prior to graduation. Visit us at arkansaschristianacademy.org. Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and I have a guest in this segment that maybe you know or don't know is Grandpa Whitfield. Welcome, Grandpa, to segment number 2.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people wonder maybe what we're talking about. But I've heard a rumor that you're a grandpa
Yes, sir.
because your adopted children, one of them, is a mom.
Yes, sir.
So now maybe we've totally confused or partially informed our audience. Dr. Whitfield, your wife, and you
Yes, sir.
met in some other state,
Virginia.
state of love, the
Yes,
state
sir.
of Virginia, And y'all were both teaching. She was a drama teacher. You were a school counselor.
Yes, sir.
Somehow, y'all migrated to Arkansas, which is your home. How
Right.
did y'all manage, and when did you manage to move back to Arkansas?
Well, my dad actually was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and my sister said, "I need you to come home so you can help out
Yeah.
with Dad." So,
And being a godly guy, you said absolutely.
yep.
Family first.
I did. After I said, "Let me talk to my wife."
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous about it because
Yeah.
she's never been more than 50 miles from her family.
She's is that a northern? Well, Virginia wouldn't be considered a northerner. That's
southern.
an East Coast.
East Coast.
Southern East Coast.
Yep.
Never been to the real South where you drink sweet tea.
Well, they do drink sweet tea in North Carolina,
Well, go ahead on.
where she's from.
Yeah, all
Now,
right.
Virginia, it's split. You get
Yeah.
some sweet tea, some unsweet tea. You have to specify. You can just ask for tea.
I was speaking at a men's retreat in Kansas City, Missouri. And I went over to the ladies that were serving the meals for the retreat, and I said, "Could I get some sweet tea?" They looked at me. Now this is in Missouri. I was born in Missouri. And they said, "Do what?" I said, "Could I get some sweet tea?" And they said, "What are you talking about?" They looked at me like I was from Arkansas. And so ultimately what I did was said, could you get me some hot tea and a cup of ice? And I made iced tea.
Yeah.
And but you know, Arkansas here in the South, we love our sweet tea.
Yes, sir.
So you guys moved ultimately back to Arkansas because of your dad's health.
Yes, sir.
How many years ago was that?
It's about 5 years ago.
And at that point, you were not teaching at Arkansas Christian Academy. You were teaching where?
At that point, I was not teaching at all.
Okay.
My sister told me that if I'd come home, she'd make me her office manager. So
There
I was
you go.
working for her. She's a foot doctor in Little Rock.
Okay.
So I did that for about a year or so. In the meantime, we were looking for a church home. And so we stumbled on Family Church.
Yeah.
And
So
actually,
you
we didn't
moved
stumble.
home, and your sister, who's a doctor, a podiatrist, I guess,
Yes,
gave you a foot in the door.
she did.
Come on, I'm
That's
working
good.
up in
That's
here.
good.
And so that got you employment. Martha moved with you.
She
At
did.
that point, you only had probably one child,
At that point, no.
one at home.
Well, we had two at home at that point. We had
Oh.
two.
One
Simone
was-
was about a year old.
She was a baby.
Yeah, she was a baby. She
Okay.
just had her first birthday when we moved here.
Yeah. And so how did you stumble on Family Church, where we made the connection with Second Chance Ranch and Arkansas Christian Academy?
Well, I say stumble, but my wife is a planner. So before we moved, she did a little research on the area. I told her kind of where we would probably end up going.
She went on
because
the internet?
She went on the internet, found Family Church, saw Second Chance Youth Ranch. She's always been interested in fostering and adopting
Yeah.
and giving a second chance to
And
young
again,
people.
anybody that's just tuning in, she's actually runs what program right now?
Right now, she is the principal at the Arkansas Juvenile Assessment and Treatment Center over in Alexander.
And you're the chaplain overseeing the spiritual aspect of that program.
Yes, sir.
And so we just want people to kind of get an eye on what you guys are doing. Now, you mentioned that she's a planner, so she immediately got on the internet and started researching churches and ministries and naturally connected with what we're doing as an educator.
Yes.
And then a heart for adoption and fostering and so forth. 87% approximately of people now find their churches on the internet.
Wow.
Now, number one reason people come to church, they've been invited by somebody. Did y'all know someone that was going to the church once you started doing research?
Not at all.
You just visited.
We just visited. We visited a church on the other side of the highway. It's now changed its name. And then after that, we came over to Family Church the first Sunday, and then the second Sunday was Meet the Pastor, so we had to come back for the second Sunday to meet the
Well,
pastor.
second Sunday of the month, I do a coffee with the pastor.
Yes.
But how did that connect y'all with adoption, fostering, and Second Chance Youth Ranch, which is what this show is all about?
Well, so we kind of came with the expectation of being able to figure out what this Second Chance Youth Ranch was about. Asked a few people, and they said, well, we'll show you how to get there. And I'm scratching my head like, what do you mean? I mean, it's got to be like around the corner,
Yeah.
right? No.
Yeah, from Bryant or Benton, it's about 40 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Going out from West Little Rock, straight out Canis to Perrin, and then back out toward Benton, Bryant, It's about, from West Little Rock, about 40 minutes. So I had asked the Lord, because I wanted to really minister to a lot of kids in care. I really said, Lord, I really would like to have some acreage, somewhat isolated, because of the size of the ministry that we want to do. And I said, I need something about 45 minutes from home, so in case I have to be there, in case of some sort of an emergency, or just need to go out like I'm doing tomorrow, to go out for a visit while we're in the midst of construction of a rec center and swimming pool. And it's 45 minutes from my house. It's 40 minutes from the church, and it is 300 acres surrounded by 40,000 acres. So when someone said, oh, we'll give you directions, everybody about 20 minutes out go, are we there yet? So we want you to visit us, and you can do that on the internet at 2CYR.org. And it has frequently asked questions and so forth. Yes. But we want to know more about Dr. Whitfield and Jawanza Whitfield, Grandpa, your adoption process, and what it's like to serve and to work on a daily basis in a paraministry of Christian education and Second Chance Youth Ranch, and how that's impacted your lives and the lives you guys are impacted. So we'll be right back.
Could you be Mom and Dad of this empty house and bring some song to those kids who need you? Could you be the ones who fill a gap and allow God to give you that tap? Could you be Mom and Dad? Could you set the table and allow broken kids to be able to eat a meal and finish their homework? Could you make a homework knowing the courage it took for that kid to get out of bed today? Could you be Mom and Dad? Could you handle the rough days, the rough ways, the rough stays when kids are angry and lash out? It feels personal, but it's not about you. Can you be there to help them through? The pain, the chaos, the deep sting of loss, they are not waste. They can't be tossed out like an old couch with rips and stains. They carry their things in a trash bag, a constant reminder of the life they had. Could you be a Mom and Dad? Could your shoulder be broad to catch some tears, to soothe those fears of all the trauma they've endured? Could you carry burdens from years of faltering families far and wide? Can you make a stable home and allow aching kids to gather inside? Could you help step up now and help us provide a home, a ranch, a second chance? These kids are His sheep, His lambs, His people. Could you be Mom and Dad?
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Welcome back. In this program and in this segment, our guest is Grandpa Jawanza Whitfield. And a little inside joke if you've just tuned in. But Jawanza, you and your wife have been involved for a long time, really from the time you met as educators in Christian education. And you guys now have relocated back to your home, which is Central Arkansas. You found Family Church in your desire to find out more about Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Yes.
And you guys got involved in the ranch. Y'all became relief house parents or emergency relief house parents at some point?
We became respite house parents right off the bat. Right off the bat. We were here in February, made the commitment to the church the end of February.
Several years ago.
Yes, years ago. And then within a few months of that, we finally got a chance to get that trip out to the ranch.
Did y'all start mentoring first?
We did not. We actually went out, saw the ranch, and said, we want to get involved. What can we do? Yeah. At the time, I had a full-time job. My wife was working online full-time, so she had to be somewhere at a certain time. So it worked out really well that we could be respites.
So you went out, met Billy and Rachel Hubbard, our daily operations director.
Yes.
Met some of the kids, I guess.
We did. We saw some of the kids. In fact, one of the first kids we saw is now grown and has been adopted as well. But I remember she was showing us some dance moves she learned at church camp.
Well, that's interesting because I host the church camp. I didn't know we did dance moves at church camp.
Maybe one of the games, I don't know.
Well, since you mentioned camp, we might as well talk about that real quick. June the 29th through July the 3rd, I'm hosting our 36th annual Fired Up for Jesus Summer Camp in Lonsdale, Arkansas. And our guests are John George and Steve Munns and me, over 150 years experience of youth ministry, Fired Up for Jesus, along with our host, Bradley Lattin, and the youth minister of Agape Church, Yerrick Henderson. And you don't want to miss that camp. So I'm glad that you worked that into the advertising there. I want to share some good news with those of you in local churches around the state of Arkansas that have a small youth group and need a great summer camp to go to. You know, I founded Destined to Win, Fired Up for Jesus Summer Camp in 1984 for young people just like those you minister to at your church week after week. You don't want to miss this opportunity coming this summer right here in Arkansas, and we would love to have you join us in our 35th annual Destined to Win, Fired Up for Jesus Summer Camp. More details to follow. God bless you. I look forward to hearing from you. How did y'all then get involved as respite house parents? And when you became respites, did you meet some young ladies that y'all ultimately adopted?
So we immediately, it wasn't long after that we filled out the application, went through all the background work to become respites. We were pretty much right on. I think it was August, September we started respiting. In January we got a new girl in the house, and right away there was a connection. She was kind of an alpha girl coming into a house with already an alpha girl, and so there was some
tension.
Little tension there.
No,
you know?
Teenagers don't have tension.
Yeah. So, but we just connected,
Yeah.
and she had a sister that we didn't know yet.
meet, yeah.
She didn't come out until about March, but we connected right away, and like many of the kids there, they gravitated to us and the other house parents, and we were mom and dad. We were aunt and uncle is what we told them. We're the respite, so we're aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
But they respected us, loved us, and we loved them. And it was just a connection that I would never have expected.
And so how long was it before y'all adopted those two young people? And were they 15 and 16 or 16 and 17-ish?
There's 3 years between.
3 years apart.
Yeah. So I think the youngest was 12 and her sister was 15.
Oh gosh, I thought they were older than that when y'all adopted.
Well, they were older than that by the time we adopted.
I got you. Because the adoption process, you have to go through a process, a screening, a home visit.
Right. Well, and as house parents, we couldn't adopt. Right.
Yes.
You can't have. Even then, there was still some tension. We left the ranch in December when we left the ranch, and then we didn't start the adoption process until that July.
Yeah. So you continued then through mentoring.
Yes, we continued mentoring,
continued to build the relationship.
Emergency respiting, and just we were stay connected with the ranch, stay connected with the girls. Of course, they're going to church here, so.
So what would you say to people that are watching right now? and they've always had it in their heart, and maybe just put it on the shelf, adopting or fostering or even mentoring, what would you say to them? Take about 60 seconds, give or take, and just tell them why they should prayerfully consider connecting with the ranch and finding out more about adoption and fostering and mentoring.
Well, every child, we say every child is just one quality adult relationship from success. And so if you're at all thinking about it or considering it, you should get involved. There is no way you can count or measure the amount of joy, the amount of benefit that you get out of giving back to these young people. They appreciate, they love, they also sometimes challenge, but their benefits are far outweigh any challenges that you might experience.
And every young person deserves a second chance.
Yes, sir.
The purpose of this show is to share with you how you can be involved through prayer, financial support, becoming a therapeutic foster home in your home, becoming a staff member at Second Chance Youth Ranch, and supporting what we do with a monthly gift, a regular gift, and praying that lives will be eternally changed through the gospel of Jesus Christ and the loving care of our staff and people like Jawanza Grandpa Whitfield and his lovely wife, Dr. Whitfield, Martha, who's changing lives every day through her ministry as well. We thank you for watching and being a part, and please take a moment and prayerfully consider connecting with us and helping us change lives one heart at a time. Until then, we'll see you right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. God bless you.
I tell anyone, if you want to help out, if you want to make a difference in somebody's life, get involved in foster care. Be a mentor, be a supporter, be a foster parent, a respite foster parent. There's so many ways that you can get involved and help. And maybe you'll be like me, eventually find a right connection and choose to adopt. The process is different for everybody. It's unique, it's special. I would highly encourage you, because every child deserves a chance to be loved. The second, the third, they need us. Without us, these children, who knows? So get involved, help out, support, encourage, participate, make a difference.